Hello, interwebs. I can hardly move my neck into my shoulder because it really freaking hurts because I slept funny. Today has been crap, so I'm going to try and review these quickly, even though I just screwed myself because every time I say I'm going to try and review them quickly, it takes longer than the normal long that I think is quick when I'm doing these in the first place.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let the pummeling begin.
Aquaman. Featuring Aquawoman. See, look, on the cover she's dressed like Mira, but no, don't be fooled. Inside she's dressed like Aquawoman. And Abnett is writing this, and I believe he's writing it into the relaunch, which is good because he gets it, and he mostly, even better, he fully gets the magic that is Mira, who in this case, it is not a cliche to say she is Aquaman's better half. In this, he fights a monster that can, at some point, looks like a really cool monster from like a third series Magic card. One of the ones where they started playing with, we need to make more creatures for, more magical looking creatures for blue cards. But the creature itself is made out of a pseudo water, so Aquaman's having a hard time killing it, and it can like dive into puddles and transport itself into this pseudo water world, which isn't really water, so it has advantages over Aquaman, but Aquaman has to outthink it and figure out its origins, and he sort of does before he even is 100% sure, because he's Aquaman, and never underestimate him on any level. Meanwhile,
that just sounds cool.
Aquawoman, Mira over here, comes out, speaks out at a big old press conference as like a it's like a world leader to begin the surface world Atlantis peace talks and whatever, and they love her. She starts stumbling into stand up without even realizing she's doing it. She says something like, we're all in the same boat. She's like, well, she actually starts out, it's because we are human. We are human too. We hope and dream like you do. We love, we breathe, we bleed. We talk to fish just like, oh wait, and then everybody's laughing. And she's like, you're laughing, but it's in this world we're all in the same boat. She's like, oh, now I said boat, that'll be a soundbite, and they're all laughing. She's like, okay, don't go overboard. She's like, oh God, I just can't. And
just snowballs.
And the FBI agents that are hanging with Aquaman are like, like hearts and mind, buddy. She's making you look so damn good, and Aquaman's like, she always has. So it's nice. It's just nice that there's a stable couple that makes sense in the DC universe. Darth Vader.
What number?
Number 18. It's gorgeous to look at. It's good. It's a little too heavy on that damn robot. That Z3 or whatever. And
would always be your only problem.
I hate those two robots. I hate them and the way they think. And even in this, he kind of comes up with a plan. The evil C-3PO type, 000, has this plan, and Vader's like, no, fuck you. It's actually kind of neat plan, but I can't like it because of this damn robot. So it was nice to see Vader shut him down, even though it looks like maybe I'll get lucky, and this robot will overstep his bounds, and Vader will have to, tear him apart with the Force or something.
Where's HK-47 when
so
you need him?
that could be good. But it's amazing how those things. This book is so good that the parts that I love, it's like, talk about a writer who's all or nothing. I mean, I've always had a love-hate relationship with Kieran Gillen's work, but he can write one book where I can read 2 pages and be like, I fucking hate this. Read the next 3 pages and be like, this is awesome. Read a page in the middle where in the mid-panel, everything is great, and I'm loving what's happening, but one of those guys that I can't stand is there, and he writes them consistently. I know it's me. The problem is me, not him. It's he writes these characters well, and if you like those characters, you're going to love them, because he writes them so on. But I hate them. So I hate them so much. But I admire his ability to make me hate them that much so consistently.
Just die.
If that makes a kind of sense. I mean, there are some writers, we won't mention their names, who write stuff, and I just hate it. And I want to, no matter how much I want to like some of it, I just hate it. But this guy has the power to, even when he writes the stuff that I hate, I mean, you'll notice, I keep saying, oh, I hate those robots. I'm on issue 18. It's not like I gave up. But at the same time, it's not the usual typical internet whining of, oh, I hate this. Because I love the rest of it, and I even have gotten to a point where I love hating those two robots. And not like in a way where you're supposed, oh, well, you're supposed to hate them, they're big. No, I just hate the very concept of them. But I have to give him credit for no matter how much I hate every iota of these characters, they are so well thought out that there's these, it's like an onion. They're just layers and layers of stuff for me to hate about them. They're fully realized.
Still haven't gotten to the core.
They're fully realized characters. I just hate everything about them. Which, I know people that I hate like that. So that's how good he's written the thing I hate. Does that make any sense? Is it possible to compliment someone by saying, you write these things that I hate so much that it's like an art form? But then everything else in that book, I mean, he gets Vader. There's no doubt about that. He gets Vader. He writes a Vader that you hear Vader's voice. And you don't hear it like, in all those books, whether they're canon or not canon anymore, there've been those, you read the Star Wars novels, where like, yeah, these sound like the characters, and you read them, more like, oh, I'm reading these because they said Star Wars and I'm halfway through, but this guy, none of those characters would do. No, he gets it. His Vader acts like Vader, sounds like Vader, thinks like Vader, is Vader. I just can't stand those two robots. But what did make me happy on a robot front was he brought back the Roger robots.
The battle droids?
Yeah. And I don't know why I love those things. Which is, again, why I say it's me, not... You can't blame Kieran Gillen, and, don't base anything on me saying I don't like those characters. Because as much as I don't like those two characters and find them, for all the same reasons, I will like other characters. Clearly, I have problems.
Yes.
That's my review, is Kieran Gillen's a great writer. I'm a fucked up guy.
Issues.
Yeah, we have...
Moving on.
We have lots of issues. Captain America's really thick. Just ask, Agent 13.
Yeah. What number?
Captain America number 7, celebrating 75 years of Captain America with 3 Captain Americas. And Cap gets his powers back because if you're gonna fight a fight against something that involves a sentient little girl cosmic cube...
What?
You know that cosmic cubes and Captain America go together like cosmic cubes and Captain America. Because that's where they start out most of the time.
Stop singing.
Anyway, Baron Zemo's a dick.
Yes.
Being a S.H.I.E.L.D. accountant doesn't end well. The Cosmic Cube girl does it. She does the rejuvenatification. So Cap is Cap again. That's how we can have that. Even the backup stories. Sometimes I get mad at, Marvel likes to do these. Hey, we're going to make this book $5.99. And you've got your regular length comic in there, followed by a bunch of backup stories that you didn't want to read. But these were good backups. Also, the Red Skull, Air Skull, comes into play in here. Whole bunch of guest artists, doing pages. There was a rather interesting story here, presentation, where Cap decides he wants a shield and not what they call the Amerigun, which was apparently an idea that Stark and some of the Captain America PR people had come up with, even though it's clearly designed to look like nothing anyone would have designed in a World War II era reality. But that story was really good. The art was beautiful. It is, I believe, what's his name? There's no titles page there. Why, Captain America comic book must you with me like this?
It's all of them, and you know it.
But, what the hell's his name? Started the Star Wars. Here it is. Here's a thing. Presentation. Yeah, it's by Joss Whedon and John Cassidy. So, Ooh, colors by Laura Martin. No wonder it was so beautiful. We love Laura. Hi, Laura. She's not watching, but hi anyway. Anywho, part of what I liked about it is there were moments John Cassidy drew him in that armor and look. Do you remember in the early 90s there was a 3-issue prestige format comic? The first 2 issues were drawn by Kevin Maguire, and the last issue was drawn by somebody else because Kevin Maguire draws at the speed of Kevin Maguire. I love that man, but you got to give him some time to get that shit going. And there are certain panels in here. There are certain panels where just, especially the faces, where he's very himself. He's very John Cassidy. But there are certain panels that could have been like lost pages from that. Like this is almost exactly one of the covers. I have a watch with an image like this. It's a gold watch. It came out when this did. They gave it to me at the store because Maguire. There was a stand-up that I wanted that had that image. This is almost that. It's not exactly the same pose. So it's not like it's a swipe or anything. Don't misinterpret me. But it's so reminiscent of that, and even something in his style, the way both he and Maguire drew each individual scale in that scale mail armor, which is a thing you used to only know if you were a historian working in a museum, but now the rest of the world knows it because it was better than leather armor but less than chainmail. In the player's handbook. But I mean, it's just beautiful, and the message behind why Cap wants a shield, even though they're like, shield reads as weak, and he's like, does it? And they show him saving people, and you can see. There's also a Tim story, a Tim Sale story that is just like mostly, there's like a couple of pages with words, and those words have a deep impact, but it's pure visual, and it's just great. And then the third backup didn't do as much for me, but it was more than worth the $5.99. Huckbusters. Huck is almost over. This is issue number 5. We find out some more of the origin, some more of what he's up against, and it's great. It's again, Mark Miller is one of those that we talk about every time I review a book by him. For a while, there was so much of his stuff that I was just like, oh, I hate it. And then all of a sudden, it's like he went through a phase of being, like almost a one-trick pony, and then one day just woke up and went, I am incredibly nuanced and faceted, and he's just been amazing ever since. I
kind of hope that's exactly what happened.
In my head, that's how it happened. He just woke up that day and was like, oh,
there you go.
I feel so nuanced and faceted. It's like, it's like his eyes became like, like dragonfly eyes, and he saw the world in just like kaleidoscope. The rider with kaleidoscope eyes. That hurt my neck.
Yeah.
Saga with a cover that's not quite actually depicting anything that's in there. Saga is Saga. This is Saga.
What, 39?
Saga. 35.
35.
Continues to be good. So close to a reunion that they don't know happened because Lying Cat doesn't speak over the phone, so he doesn't know that he was on the phone with the whale. I mean, the Will. There's a list in the back that somebody wrote in of potential new nicknames for the whale. Also, that Vaughn and Staples are having fun on this when they go to there's a world where they end up fighting non-microscopic versions of those, whatever they're called, the whatever bears that.
Oh, yeah.
I meant to look up, but I was like, ha ha ha, that's funny. Because those things look like this is what they should be. As giant monsters in like a sci-fi.
Aqua bears, I think. As
always, the family comes so close. This is a whole lot of like near misses. This is the issue of almost reunions. And Goose shows up at the end upon his proud walrus steed
Friendo.
with his, harm the boy, and Goose will chop you deep. Yep. No, you haven't lived until you've been threatened by an adorable
Deadly Seal Man.
Deadly Seal. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Before I move on. Also, apparently, you can get a limited edition plush lion cat that when you squeeze its collar says lying. I think that's kind of, they're limited edition, which means as I'm reading this to you, they're already sold out. Top 10 new names for the Will. Number 10, The Whale. Number 9, The Wall. Number 8, Poundy Hunter. 7, Cheese Lancer. 6, The Will Have Seconds. 5, The William Conrad. 4, Walrus Friend. 3, Lying Fat. 2, Brian K. Vaughan. And number 1, The Won't. His Love the Late Show with Vita Vando. And the response in the letters can be simply, I hate you, Vita. It makes me laugh in and of itself.
That's good.
Yeah, letters columns shouldn't be as entertaining as the comics, but sometimes they are. Daredevil, number 5. The Hand versus 10 Hands, or 10 Fingers, or whatever his name is.
10 Rings, Mandarin?
No, 10 Fingers. He's actually got 10 fingers on each hand.
Well, bloody hell.
Yeah, the ladies like him. But
I would imagine so.
Blind Spot has some mommy issues. Mommy has some blind spot issues. And Daredevil, you being a guy with heightened hearing, knows there's stuff you're not telling me, but I can't decide which is the better road to kind of push you on that or to let it go, let it go.
Really?
Batman and Robin, Eternal, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, setting up everything. This is number 26. It's the end of Batman and Robin Eternal. So it's called Batman and Robin Eternal, but it's a limited series. So clearly, it lies.
It does.
Anywho, this sets up a bunch of stuff. And it ends with a nice picture of the returned Batman. And he's like, sounds like a job for Batman and Robin. And they're like, Dick's like, which Robin? Batman goes, all of them.
Of course.
And they all jump in. But this sets up the new Detective Comics where Batman will be training Spoiler and Carrie and Cassie, Cassandra Cain, who takes on her new name in this. She will not be Batgirl. She takes on the name Orphan, because Orphan was her father, and he was a killer, and he may meet an end that makes it an apt title for her, or basically anyone under the age of 18 who ever meets Bruce Wayne. It's just what happens.
So
Hi,
terrible.
Bruce. Mom.
So terrible, but so true.
His paper boy. Collect. Yeah, his house exploded while he was there. Avengers standoff. 2 Maria Hills. Yep, there's 2 Maria Hills. And one of them's not Maria Hill. Oh, complicated. As we continue to... This is number 7. Case number 7. This continues to tie in with the standoff event. Took an art shift as Adam Kubert steps on for a bit, and but it's Adam Kubert and it's Mark Waid. It's good. The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Now I dropped Squirrel Girl because I read a lot of fucking books, all right, and this one just became it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. Anywho. I read this one because Howard the Duck crosses over it. Sometimes you need that.
Oh,
but
yes.
It turns out that's not even the best part. Best part of this entire issue. See, sometimes you drop a book and you regret it and you end up having to pick one up because it crosses over. And they make you regret it more because they do things like this. Kraven the Hunter shows up again. And in... Squirrel Girl always starts with one of those mock Twitter pages. But this one in the search, all the hashtags are Cravan, 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 Cravan. So it's hashtag Cravan, hashtag Cravan, hashtag Cravan, hashtag Cravan, hashtag Cravan, and finally, hashtag Cravan for life. because this is what Craven pulls up in. This is the Cravan.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
That's Craven's van with art by Quinones in there. Quinones, however you say it.
Enormous.
I want that van. Power lines.
Numero.
It's number one. It's the only one they have.
Gotcha.
Power lines, number one. There were power lines in the American Northwest. That, or were they California? Maybe it's the North, maybe it's the Southwest. I don't know. Somewhere west. So my New Yorker mind stopped imagining that it mattered.
Not here. Moving on.
Yeah, California. So the anti-New York. We'll allow it for the sake of story. So the Southwest, in America's Southwest, there were power lines. And the Native Americans knew about them. And they used them to defend their land and as whatever. Look, Native American, but he's gone native. Don't worry, that bunny was a villain. He deserved to die.
Moving on.
But the power lines have returned in California, and certain people are they get the little triangle in their eyes, and they get empowered. Interestingly enough, the first two to get these are California. You know, they're both in California. One is a black teenage boy doing some gang activity, but not a bad kid so much as a misunderstood kid who's, you know, falling in with his crowd. The other one who ends up getting it in her eyes and having a moment of power is an unashamedly racist white woman whom the gang of kids stole her purse from her, and they have her phone, and she's tracked them through the Track My Phone app, and the fact that they keep they keep taking pictures, and she can see them on
the two on
whatever.
the back.
So no, not that lady. This is him saving a lady in the water. So a couple Native Americans are following these people and going, oh shit, the powers are back, but this isn't what we expected. We didn't expect a junior gangbanger and a racist housewife to be the first, you know.
So we're talking like ley lines.
If you could pick who gets superpowers, let's just say for these Native Americans, these two were not their first choice. And of course they're obviously at odds because black gangbanger, racist housewife. As you can see, there will be a conflict of interest. JLA, Superman versus God. Aquaman versus Superman's God. Wonder Woman versus Superman's God. Batman and Cyborg outthinking everybody. And Clark he had a bad day, ending similarly to the ending of the crappy Batman movie with the Superman in it. Strayer, number 3. So good. It's like Justin Jordan's reluctant post-apocalyptic barbarian hero versus crazy bloodthirsty monsters. What's not to love? Faith, number 3. Faith gets a secret identity. Faith loses a secret identity. Faith was really never made for a secret identity.
No.
But it's good. And it's gorgeous art. And it's so good. It's just... Everybody should read Faith because she will restore yours. There's a reason they didn't call it Zephyr. They went with Faith because her real name really sums up the character. Possibly they could have named her Hope. Grayson, number 18. More spy stuff. I don't know. I think the moment they announced that he'll be back as Nightwing and in the black and blue Nightwing suit post Rebirth, I think a little bit of me just found it that much harder to continue reading the spy stuff. I've liked the spy stuff, but I'm getting Nightwing back.
So, yay!
Move along. Nothing to see here. Ghostbusters International, number 3. The Boys versus the Giant Ghost of a Plague Doctor. There's more going on than one would care to think about. There are job interviews with... Some of them are more obvious than others as to who they're supposed to be. But, you know, some of the interviewees are kind of familiar looking. All new X-Men number 7. This was so good. Hopeless made me feel exactly that. Hopeless. I am claustrophobic. Cyclops is without his goggles and a broken leg, trying to escape the Toad had a psychotic break. Shit went too bad. He couldn't handle it. His little mind snapped. He's given completely into alcoholism, and all he knows is it's all Cyclops' fault. So if he can just kill young Cyclops, everything should go back to normal, because then old Cyclops won't be able to do everything, right? We don't know. But, could have some serious repercussions down the line. We have to see how it all pans out. Lois and Clark, number 6. Superman. His son has powers, but we sort of guess that because we know he's getting his own book that he's going to share with Damien called Super Sons. He's going to wear a hoodie with an S on it and ripped jeans because I don't care. I really want to read the book, but nonetheless, the ripped jeans, seriously, is it 1996 and no one told me? I don't know. Angel Gang moves in on Lois.
Gotta remember the review, right?
Superman gets caught up being Superman. He's got to save all these people. He can't just rush in and save his family at the cost of all these people. That's not who he is. He's Superman. Clearly, Zack Snyder doesn't read Dan Jurgens' Superman.
Nope.
But it's okay because, as we've mentioned, Jonathan has powers. Jonathan can do some saving of his own. And finally, trade-wise, I have waited for this. Hexed, The Harlot and the Thief, Volume 2. This collects the last of the Hexed series that I think it was only 12 issues, which was sad. No, it was only 8 issues, which is even sadder. This collected issues 5 through 8. I've got the first half at home. This book was so good. This is like, I've described it before as the character Lucifer, the main heroine of Hexed, is kind of like a little bit Buffy, a lot of bit Constantine, a little bit, what's his name, the thief from the thief forger from White Collar. Another way to describe this is it's like Supernatural with a couple small changes. Like the lead characters are girls. And it's good. Yeah, I hate Supernatural. Suck it. I do what I want. Oh, you're still there. Bye, afterwards.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.